Hi, it's Serena from highlyrecommendedbooks.com, and I'm here today to tell you why I love and why I highly recommend Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now, you probably will recall that Andy Weir wrote The Martian, which was made into a highly successful movie starring Matt Damon. And if I am a prognosticator at all, I think this is going to be a movie too. It's really that great a story. Now, just like The Martian, obviously this deals, and you can tell this again by looking at the cover of the book, this story deals with interstellar adventures. And Andy Weir, in his book jacket blurb, tells us that for his whole life he has been fascinated with space travel, and that he is an absolute nerd when it comes to things like physics and astronomy and molecular biology and all sorts of sciencey things. And his knowledge is clearly evident throughout the book. And the book is really very science heavy. Don't let that turn you off. You're going to see some big words. You're going to see scientific things that you never dreamt of, that you've never heard of, that no one ever taught you in school, unless you're a sciencey type person. But if you're not, and I'm not, it's fine. He explains it in ways that are easy to understand, and they are the backdrop to the story, but there's a real human nature part of the story that is equally as important and is what propels it, and it's the human nature part of it that really has us cheering along and wanting to see and keeping our fingers crossed. And so I'll explain all that to you in a moment. There is so much to this story that is not readily apparent from the basic plot point that there's an interstellar adventure. And I'm really hesitant to give away too much of the story. I read this book because I knew about it, I'd heard about it, and had seen the movie The Martian. I didn't read the book, but my husband did, and he told me, because we saw the movie together, he told me that the book was even better than the movie. So anyway, I anticipated that it would be another great book and that it would be a really sciencey book. So what happens here is that the sun is being attacked by an alien life form that is depleting the sun's resources, and by that I mean its ability to generate heat, which is obviously what everyone on Earth requires in order to survive. In the story, the scientific types on Earth figure out that there is this huge problem, and in order to try and fix the problem, they arrange, a Hail Mary pass, or in this case, a Project Hail Mary that involves a space trip out into the farthest reaches of the universe. And they send a man named Ryland Grace on this space trip. Now, he has a really interesting background. He was a renowned molecular biologist. He had some criticism to a paper he wrote, and he junked his renowned career and became a high school science teacher, like a 10th grade science teacher. And he loved doing that, as a matter of fact, but still had all this knowledge that he had collected in his earlier part of his career. He is tapped to go on this mission, the mission being obviously to figure out exactly what is going on with this alien species and how to stop that species from cannibalizing the heat of the sun. Now, the story, as I said, has a science part, but it's got a humanistic part, and it just was a really, really fun story. And you're going to have your fingers crossed, and you're going to be cheering him on and hoping that he can save us all. So I highly recommend Project Hail Mary to anyone who loves, you know, a great space story, and there are lots of them. And, you know, as you read it, you're going to think to yourself, gosh, I wish that the United States and any country in the world actually had a space program that had designs of sending astronauts to the far reaches of the galaxy. Because, you know, as they said in Star Trek, space is the final frontier, and we need to go there. And this is the greatest way to get an understanding of what space travel would really be like. So again, I highly recommend this book. Now, don't forget, sign up for my newsletter. You go on my website, highlyrecommendedbooks.com, push the button, sign up for the newsletter. You'll be entered for my once-a-month drawing. The drawings are for a box filled with books and mugs and all candy and all just kinds of fun stuff. It's a really great prize. So anyway, keep reading. Have a great day. Tune in next week.